What's up, everybody, and welcome to my Friday Night Smackdown review. Tonight is the draft. The draft is back again, folks, for tonight and on Raw this Monday. A lot going on. A lot of picks, I should say, tonight, too. Which the rules kind of work like last year. 2 picks for SmackDown, 3 picks for Raw. Teams are considered as 1 pick, which still, I believe Raw and SmackDown officials can, I guess, I don't know, negotiate into picking one person out of the team. So, in a way, they still can be separated in a way, too. But with the draft going on tonight, there's a lot to go down. Stephanie McMahon, once again, just like last year, will be the one naming off the draft picks. The only thing I am glad to see about the draft this time is that we do not have to see any that war room like last year with whoever these so-called officials were in the back during this war room, which they didn't really make a lot of sense also. But still, we do have a lot going on tonight, and we kick it off with the first round picks for the draft. Like I said, Stephanie McMahon was hosting it, and these were the first picks to the WWE draft. For Monday Night Raw, WWE Champion Drew McIntyre. SmackDown, WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns. Raw, Women's Champion Raw, that is Asuka. SmackDown got Seth Rollins, and Raw got the Hurt Business of Bobby Lashley, MVP Shelton Benjamin, and Cedric Alexander. My quick thoughts on it. Number one, I knew the champions were never going to be switching shows, so I don't think anybody had to worry about that, especially the feuds they're in right now. We knew Drew and Roman would stay where they are. Asuka, she's the Raw Women's Champion. She's staying where she is. I don't think she's going anywhere. Seth Rollins, I am mildly surprised by this, but I am glad he is on SmackDown because I don't want to see this whole Rey Mysterio feud anymore at this point. So I'm glad he is on a different show, okay? That I am glad about. I'm just sick of the feud with him and Ray, but I don't think, unfortunately, I'm going to be wrong about that too when I get to that. Hurt Business, they're one of the best things on Raw right now, so honestly, just keep them there. I don't really want them switching shows anyway. Keep them on Monday Night Raw, okay? But they did go to Seth Rollins, though. I guess he will never be the Monday Night Messiah anymore. But he's thrilled to be here on SmackDown. But he's heartbroken that he, won't be able to see the Rey Mysterio's family implode. But he doesn't have to look at their faces again. But unfortunately, he's going to be wrong about that later on. Next, we got Big E versus Sheamus in a Falls Count Anywhere match, which I like this match a lot. Okay, I did. Because, yes, they did fight each other out there, and there were kendo sticks involved. And, Sheamus stopping Big E from using a kendo stick. But Sheamus even tying Big E to the ropes, pretty much hitting him in the chest with the kendo stick several times, so he was onto the floor then. Sheamus went back on the ring, but Big E duct taped him then, his ankles together, and started hitting him with the kendo stick then, and pretty much over the barricade, which they went to commercial, but they went backstage then, where Big E was still beating him with the kendo stick, but Sheamus pretty much got back with him and hit him with a stick also. And, Sheamus was bleeding, I guess the welts from his body and whatnot. But Sheamus started throwing, flour on him and eggs because I guess they were catering, making pancakes. Like, you like pancakes? You like pancakes? He threw him into some other room then, which you got a monitor. But Big E hit him with a broom then. He threw a trash can at him. And they ended up going to the parking lot, which they got on top of a car where Sheamus hit the white noise on him and the glass broke. Big E looked like he was bleeding from his arms and whatnot off of the windshield. But Sheamus, I covered him, pretty much got 2'd in after that. He tried to put Big E in the back of a trunk then, but Big E used his legs to stop it and got out of there. Sheamus tried to hit him with a bro kick, but bro kicked the trunk off of the car then. Big E ended up power bombing him, which it didn't break the windshield. He just kind of slid off of it to the ground, but he hit him once, picked him up again, and kind of got him with some of another power bomb onto the windshield to make sure it broke. But into the ending of it though, Big E got the big ending on the Sheamus on top of the car, threw some tables, and got the 1, 2, 3 for the match. A very good brawl between both these guys. I like this match. Very good Falls Count Anywhere match. I would say, just because it was a brawl and they actually fought around somewhere, not just around, during the ring, but they went to the backstage area and beat the hell out of each other. So this was a good fight, and they were bleeding out there too. So I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this a lot. Big E was being interviewed in the back then until who shows up? Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. So the New Day is all back together now. They were dressed as security guards, but now there's only one thing missing. The SmackDown titles. Now, my friend Gerard called me tonight as soon as he saw that, and he said Big E's turning. Just look at his demeanor. Look at his attitude. It looked like he wanted to turn heel on them, which even... Yeah, I didn't think he looked like he was going to turn on him or maybe discussed it, and he looked like he was all for it, but I was thinking Big E may have said, hey, man, I'm kind of doing it on my own right now. Y'all can go for the titles, but, I'm not trying to go for this. So I don't think, Big E was ever going to turn on a New Day or whatnot. Jey Uso then came out talking about Roman Reigns, wanting to come out, but Paul Heyman showed up on the screen then, which, he says, I do not dictate when Roman Reigns appears, and pretty much showed the footage from Clash of Champions, where Reigns was sitting in a chair then, and pretty much, I guess he talked about as far as telling him that, you believe nothing you hear, and only half what you hear in this business, and what you saw, you can believe that. And he says, I tried to help you. I tried to make your life better, he told Jay, but all you had to do was acknowledge me as your chief. But Reigns says, okay, we're going to do something at Hell in a Cell. And it's going to be the first ever I Quit match inside Hell in a Cell, okay? And listen, I love you, all right? But after you say I quit, there will be consequences. But, like I said, good promo from Roman Reigns. Never really heard of a I Quit Hell in a Cell match, but I'm looking forward to it, though. I don't think Jey Uso's winning at all, but I think we will get a great match out of this, too. Probably more story-driven like Clash of Champions, but I still think it's going to be good. Like I said, the whole Uso-Roman thing is one of the best things on SmackDown right now, so I definitely enjoy that. Next, Stephanie McMahon announced that Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro will go against the New Day for the tag titles tonight, which makes zero sense because, honestly, number one, Xavier Woods has been out for over a year now due to an Achilles tendon, and Kofi's been gone since Extreme Rules, so they get a title shot just because for literally no reason. No reason. Makes zero sense, okay? We're just handing title shots out because they just returned. I don't get that. But in the second round pick, AJ Styles is going to Raw. I kind of figured that. Sasha Banks stays on SmackDown. Naomi goes to Raw. I hope for the best. Bianca Belair to SmackDown, which is interesting. Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler on Raw. The women's tag champions, I don't really care. What happened? And AJ did cut a promo talking about he doesn't have to deal, which he was at his home. He doesn't have to deal with Jeff Hardy or Sami Zayn again. And he says future is phenomenal. Wasn't he on Raw like months ago? Like kind of until after WrestleMania he went to SmackDown? Because he was on Raw. Yeah, he was on Raw. Basically after WrestleMania, once, he got quote unquote buried by The Undertaker in the whole Boneyard match. He was back he was back on Raw for a minute, but then he ended up going to SmackDown. Yeah, he just ended up on SmackDown in that Intercontinental title tournament. So, it's not like AJ Styles has been gone from Raw for a very long time. It's been 6 months maybe? I think 5-6 months. That's what I would count into that. Because he probably did a couple more things on Raw before he went to SmackDown after the whole Undertaker thing. So, I don't know, but I figured he was going back to Raw. Naomi, what she needs anything right now. Like I said, I'm hoping for something good, but she needs anything. We knew Sasha wasn't going. Bianca, that does interest me. That's very interesting. I'm surprised she is on SmackDown. I know we've been seeing vignettes of her on Raw lately, and we were gonna see where that's gonna go. But it is interesting that she is on SmackDown. I like it, though. It's interesting, so I do like it. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler to Raw, I don't really care. Next, Matt Riddle and Jeff Hardy went against Miz and Morrison. Wasn't much that... The match was quick. Riddle won with the bro Derek. I heard something about Matt Riddle today. I was talking to my neighbor, and he told... I didn't know if this was true, but apparently that whole accuser to Matt Riddle is, suing him, the WWE... Gabe Sapolsky and Evolve, Gabe Sapolsky was like the Evolve booker, but Evolve for $10 million a piece. I didn't believe that story till I had to look it up, but when he told me, wait, she wants $10 million a piece? whew, good luck to you. All I'll say is this. She ain't winning no money. Number one, you ain't gonna beat the WWE's lawyers in court, okay? They will drag that out as long as possible. The only people I know that's ever beat the WWE in court is either Jesse Ventura or CM Punk, okay? Evolve, I thought they were done. Gabe Sapolsky, doesn't he work for WWE right now? It's not having no $10 million. Matt Riddle, and I heard he's already countersuing, so this woman's not getting any money. Okay, what is she just getting, like a restraining order if kept showing up to WWE against him or something? I don't know. It's what I'm hearing. This girl's just a crazy stalker at this point. My conclusion is, like others have said, bitch is crazy and she ain't getting no money. So she ain't getting shit. $10 million a piece. Good luck. You ain't beating the WWE in that. But after the match, though, Lars Sullivan is back. Very interesting. And he looked a little different. He had a little hair and at least a beard this time. He basically destroyed Riddle, Hardy, and Miz, which Morrison tried to get him out of there, but destroyed Miz also and hit him with the, what was this finisher called? The Freak or whatnot, or the Freak Ending or something. Listen. It's Lars Sullivan. Lars Sullivan. Basically, I debuted him and coming in beating up folks, but what do I have to say? Because the last time he was here, well, he was hurt over like a year ago, and he had a big knee injury, but then again, this guy had enough problems. He got a $100,000 fine because of a whole bunch of comments, a whole bunch of racism, other shit, which he did, I believe, 10 years prior before he even got into WWE, or years. But I heard there were recent ones, too, he was saying. So it's like more stuff was coming out on about that guy. So I don't really care about Lars Sullivan, without the controversy. I wasn't really feeling it to begin with. And judging by what I've seen on the internet tonight, a lot of people seem to not give a shit also, okay? And honestly, wasn't this guy, last time I heard about him, wasn't he taking it up the ass in some gay porn or some shit like that? Which I thought that was karma, because then he talked about like a whole bunch of gay people, so, but this dude's out here doing gay porn, so I thought that was kind of karma. I still think that's hilarious. I don't give a fuck nobody say that shit was funny. I just looked at that as karma, so I don't know if anything will be different for Lars Sullivan. I guess he's just on Smackdown at this point, but, do I say, which I think Stephanie McMahon said he is added to Monday Night Raw's draft pool, but do I really care about Sullivan being back in general? I was shocked to see him, I'll say that, but I don't know, man. After what happened last time, that dude was having enough problems, so I guess we'll see, but I don't really care at the same time too, but we'll see. I just laugh at what happened to him last time, okay, especially with the gay porn shit. But like I said, this dude had enough stuff going on before he even got here and everything, and just shit hit the fan then after that. In the next, we in round 3, the draft pool, what do we got here? Ricochet to Raw, who gives a shit? He wasn't doing nothing on there anyway. Still not doing nothing but facing the Hurt Business every week. Honestly, he should have moved to SmackDown. Why? Who gives a shit? Why was he even on these picks? Jey Uso, we already knew he wasn't going nowhere. Wasn't Mandy Rose just moved to Raw? So that's kind of a waste of a pick. She was just there. Okay, she was just there. So I don't get it. We just moved her to Raw. Didn't Miz get her on Raw? So we know she's there. So what was the point of even having a draft pick for that? Rey and Dominic Mysterio to SmackDown. The feud continues, folks. Him and Seth. Oh boy. Oh boy. Which, they were celebrating backstage, so they didn't separate them. So if they're going to be on SmackDown, this feud with Seth continues. God, why? Okay? And if they're on SmackDown, we got to move his whole family to SmackDown. So expect Rey, his wife, his daughter, everybody will be on SmackDown. The only thing they need to do next is draft Murphy to SmackDown, and we basically just move the whole storyline to a different show. Okay? So obviously this isn't over. Now, Murphy was not drafted tonight, but hey, he may be drafted when Raw comes on Monday. Okay? We'll see what happens. Miz and Morrison to Raw, thank God, because I'm sick of this feud with them and Otis, and which I'll get back to him in a second, but at least they're separated. Thank God for that. But I don't know. But at least they're on a different show. Bayley went against Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This ended in a DQ, which I figured it was going to end up in a DQ. Sasha ended up using a chair to beat Bayley with, and whatnot, even trying to wrap her arm around it, but Bayley got out of there. Sasha even issued a challenge at Hell in a Cell, which, come on, we all saw this coming, between her and Bayley for that title. She said she's going to rip Bayley to shreds. Honestly, Sasha's, I would say, win count in Hell in a Cell is not really good. So, maybe she can win it the third time and beat Bayley. I'm not really sure, but we will see. But that's obviously set up for a Hell in a Cell match. Next, Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro went against the New Day for the SmackDown Tag Titles. New Day won. This made no sense. This was rushed. I don't know why they need to get the belts back on the New Day as soon as they got back here. We're like 7 times the champions now. Why? I don't understand that. They basically just screwed Cesaro and Nakamura. That's a bunch of bullshit. So I don't know why we even needed to see that. Okay, why? I don't. That this made no sense. This was rushed, but. Then right after Big E came out and celebrated, but Stephanie McMahon went on to announce the final draft picks, the New Day would be drafted to Raw, but that would only be Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. Big E will remain on SmackDown, so I'm kind of glad to see that since they were trying to get Big E a shine as a single star right now. I'm glad he's still on SmackDown and then moving the New Day to Raw, but at the same time, why are you moving the SmackDown Tag Team Champions to Raw? So obviously, the Street Profits have to be going to SmackDown or something. You got to get the belts off them next or whatever's going on about that. I know some people are saying they're going to be a unification of the tag team titles, but I don't see that happening. I really don't, okay? But yeah, I guess we got all the tag titles on Raw right now. Dana Brooke to Raw. We just moved her to Raw, okay? So that's dumb also. What was the point of that pick? Like, they just put her on Raw like a couple weeks ago. Otis is on SmackDown. At least he's away from Miz and Morrison. I just want the money in the bank off of him. Garza, I know he's hurt, but he's going to remain on Raw. I'm fine with that. It's whatever. It's not like he was going. I don't think he was going anywhere anyways. But Otis then, and it was him and Tucker. Well, he's on SmackDown, but Tucker was not drafted yet. But they need to still worry about this whole case coming up. And Otis will serve papers by Miz and Morrison, and basically Miz Morrison's lawyer saying this was just a delay in trial. So this case has no legal standing, and I guess they want to drag it out and whatnot. I don't know. I don't understand. So, are they going to move Tucker to Raw or something? I don't get what's going on here. Just put both Heavy Machinery on SmackDown. Why'd you just draft both of them? I don't understand why you only drafted one of them. Because he has the money in the bank? I don't get that. And I'm assuming they're ending this lawyer or lawsuit case with Miz and Morrison. I don't know what's going on with this or whoever these lawyers. I thought Otis was about to bring out his own lawyer. Who's his lawyer going to be? Michael Avenatti, that piece of shit cocksucking motherfucker. Fuck him. Piece of shit. He had what was coming to him. That's what happens when you fuck with Chicago. Stupid fuck. But enough about that. That fucking loser of a lawyer. Yeah. I don't know where this is going with Otis anymore. I just want the money in the bank off him. I honestly do. Next, the Firefly Funhouse happened. Well, I shouldn't even say Funhouse. It just set up for him to come out, which they even talked about next week's show, which is the season premiere SmackDown. What? Because they debuted on Fox from over a year ago? Well, I think that was on the 1st of this month from last year, but I will say this for next week. So, Roman Reigns is going against Strowman for the Universal title. Why? What has Strowman done other than appear on Raw and get beat up by Keith Lee and show up on Raw Underground? Why? I don't know why he's getting a title shot. Why does he deserve a title? Who gives a shit? Shouldn't get one to begin with. And what, New Day in their farewell match will go against Sheamus, Cesaro, and Nakamura. We'll see what happens. But Strowman getting who gives a shit? Strowman getting a title shot? Why? Kevin Owens, though, went against The Fiend. Honestly, I actually thought this was a good match at first, which I thought both guys went back and forth, even though of course, The Fiend is going to no-sell half the time. After Kevin Owens hits him with freaking cannonballs out there and, DDT to the floor, but The Fiend gets up fast. Even Owens hitting like a frog splash off the apron and whatnot. Even him with a pop-up power bomb through the table 2 times since it didn't break the first time, but The Fiend still gets in. He puts the mandible claw in him. Owens does the stunner, but The Fiend still held on to it, and he ended up winning, beating Kevin Owens. And then right after the lights went out, and then him and Alexa Bliss was staring face to face. And then they looked at the ring. So, yeah, they still got that Harley Quinn Joker thing going on, if you ask me. But still, I look at the match between The Fiend and Kevin Owens. Basically, this is like any other kind of Fiend match. He no-sells. Like, you can hit him with everything. I wouldn't say, you can't hit him with everything from the kitchen sink. And this guy still gets up. But Kevin Owens doing as much as big moves he could to stop him, he kept getting back up. So, even hitting his finisher, he still got back up. Okay, so he just got back up every time and just wouldn't go down. So, yeah, the main event, I thought was good to an extent, but it's just, Wyatt no-selling again. Now, more draft will be tomorrow. They said it will continue online or something, or on Talking Smack, so I guess we have to find out picks for tomorrow. I will say this, looking at the picks that were made tonight, was I really impressed by a lot of these? Not really, because let's see here. Let's go over this real quick. Garza on Raw, I was alright, whatever. Otis on SmackDown, should just put both Heavy Machinery there. Dana Brooke, they just moved her to Raw. The only thing I would say that was interesting was the New Days, because Big E is on SmackDown, and Woods and Kofi are on Raw, okay? So that is at least something interesting to talk about. Miz and Morrison going to Raw, thank God. Ray and Dominic to SmackDown. I wasn't going to be mad at this, but since this feud is still continuing with Seth, and Seth are on SmackDown too, yeah, this feud's going to continue, and I wouldn't be surprised if Murphy is moved to SmackDown also, even though I think they need to keep those guys separated from each other also, okay? I wasn't mad at this, but then it's like, oh, feud continues, folks, feud continues. So, yeah, Rey and Dominic and Seth Rollins going to SmackDown. I was hoping they were just going to keep these guys separate. Mandy Rose, you just put her on Raw. Waste of a pick. Jey Uso wasn't going nowhere. Ricochet, why? Why? Just why? He needed to go to SmackDown, but it's not. Why pick him on Raw again? He wasn't doing shit there to begin with. Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler, I don't care. Bianca Belair, that does interest me going to SmackDown. Naomi, I'm hoping something good happens with her on Raw. Sasha wasn't going nowhere. AJ, which I feel like he was on Raw months ago, which I'm okay with this for some reason. It's AJ. The champions were not going anywhere. Drew and Roman. Asuka, new one going nowhere. And the Hurt Business. Come on, they have to stay on Raw. They're like one of the best things on Raw. We'll see what happens online. Who is picked on and whatnot, but we're still gonna have to find out what happens on Raw this Monday and see who will go to SmackDown. However the rest of these picks will go. One last thing before I go though, happy birthday to Eddie Guerrero, who would have turned 53 years old today. I've seen a lot of stuff on Twitter today about Eddie, really good stuff too, so I'm glad people really did give a fuck about today about Eddie and whatnot. Like I said, some wondering if Eddie were still here today, imagine the matches he would have still had throughout these years. He probably would have been retired at this point in time in 53. I don't know, maybe he could have still kept going if he was still alive to this day, but I could go on a lot of favorite memories from Eddie Guerrero, one of the top stars, especially in the Ruthless Aggression era and whatnot. Like I said, I can go from him beating Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship, or just the many just comedy moments, or the matches he's had with Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit, Cena. I still remember that parking lot brawl. I still remember that fatal four-way between him, Booker T, Undertaker and JBL for the WWE Championship. Eddie versus JBL, Judgment Day, especially when they had that freaking blood fest. I still remember the Texas Bull Rope match with Eddie Guerrero at the Great American Bash. I could go on for a long time with memories of Eddie Guerrero and whatnot, but it is cool that a lot of people have been celebrating his birthday today, and I know they had mentioned it tonight on SmackDown also. So yeah, happy birthday, Eddie, man. I still miss those low rider entrances, so those are still one of the coolest things I always thought back then, watching as a kid, okay? So, Viva la Raza. All right. R.I.P. Eddie, man. R.I.P. Eddie. But other than that, I'm done with this review of SmackDown. We'll see what happens this Monday on the draft. I almost said the draw. We'll be back with probably another updated review on how the G1 is going. And yeah, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter. You know how this goes and everything. So yeah, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.